Long-term investment into infrastructure matters. There is a lot of appetite for it, and we need to make it happen.
Long-term investment in infrastructure means investment in social housing, in transport infrastructure, in energy grids, in all these kind of things we need to have a good economy and create jobs for the future.
Investment in infrastructure is a key element both of competitiveness as well as the performance of our domestic economies. It is natural that we put emphasis on priority infrastructure, that we focus on environmental investment, that we improve and introduce new technologies, that we increase integration in terms of bringing different transport systems and others together, that we expand the use of broadband. All of these things are absolutely common sense clear.
We need to invest in infrastructure to prepare our future, to boost the economy, to create jobs. But we have a problem that since the crisis, it appears that banks are lending less money.
The current levels of investment in infrastructure are now lower, approximately 15%, than they were in 2007. So whereas other parts of the Western markets, such as North America or Japan, have recovered more rapidly than Europe has now to catch up.
We need to find ways to get private money also into the system, in cooperation with European Investment Bank or through all kinds of funds. But to allow this, we need to have a framework. We need to create European passports for funds, for example. We need to find ways to attract money, to convince people that it is safely invested and that they have a return on investment.
Because it's by nature so long term, it really places a premium on having that right policy environment, a stable policy environment. So we talk, for example, about getting the bank regulatory system right, or the broader prudential regulation system right. We talked about alternative sources of financing for long-term investment. And then, of course, we talked about how the public sector can really work with the private sector.
These are complex investments, and you need the skills to understand them. This is one of the main obstacles. Once you get comfortable and you've got your internal teams and resources, then you can channel more investment. But of course you don't do that investment in resources until you are interested in this asset class. And I think that's where the regulation plays a key role to facilitate the attractiveness of the asset class and enable indeed those investments to be made.
There is an increasingly valuable role that capital market institutions can play to complement the European banking system, and that indeed it is essential that the capital markets should do so.